All right, hi everyone, it's Alex. I'm making a video today talking about how to prepare for your first mock call in RCA, right? Some of you, I'm sure, are like brand new to the sales industry, brand new to high ticket sales, right? And have no idea what's going on. And all you have is like the RCA, scripts and videos, right? All that kind of content to get you ready for it. And that's all that's all kind of you got, right? And then you have some of you that are from sales, you're from high ticket already, and you're just kind of like, dude, let's just do the mock calls, get them done so I could then be put in the pipeline, right? So wherever you are in the range here on the scale, you're great, right? And I'm gonna give you guys some little tips here how to kind of accelerate, and really maximize your experience on these mock calls to give you the most bang for your buck and to get you being outstanding setters and closers ASAP, okay? So when you're first new to RCA, in this video, I'm going to launch on the Facebook group so you can watch this when you first come in. Okay, you first of all, you want to be prepared with the script, okay, first and foremost. Okay, so if you're a setter, you want to start reading and learning that setter script like every day. Okay, the most effective way that I learned to learn a script is you stand in front of the mirror, like at your house or in your car, whatever. Make sure you're not driving, right? Whatever. And you essentially look at yourself in the eyes and you read the script to yourself. Okay, and you want to imagine that you're talking to yourself. Okay, you want to keep doing this. It's called mirror work again and again and again and again and again. I mean, literally, this could be hours or days, right? It's going to take some time, but you want to keep building this. Now, you may already be mocking at this point, it's fine, but you want to master the script as soon as possible. What I mean by master, like you want to have it down so well and know it so fully that you know it like it's your phone number, like it's your social security number, right? You don't even have to even think about it anymore. You could just start talking to someone as a client on a call and just know exactly like where the conversation is going, like what to ask next. So it's like it flows. It's very fluid. Okay, that level of mastery could take you hours, days, weeks to get to. But I promise you, the quicker you get this done and you have the script down, okay, the quicker you can no longer be distracted by it and have your attention on it, right? When you're with a prospect or in a mock call. Why is this important, right? Because look, mostly when I do mocks to people, right, what I hear is that they're not actually listening to what I'm saying, right? Yeah, they're hearing it, but they're not listening really. They're not listening to like what's important to me in my life. Like, what am I dealing with? What am I going through? What am I actually looking for that's going to have me close, right? That you could use later to close the client. You're not listening. Why? Because you're distracted. You're not paying attention. Well, what do you mean? Because your attention is only could be okay, human beings could only have their 100% attention in one place at one time in the physical universe, period. Okay, this is backed by like neuro and brain science here, okay? Human attention can only be one place. If you're learning a script, if you're reading a script, if you're in your head about what's coming next, what questions do I have to ask? How am I going to respond to this question or whatever, or response? Consider you're no longer in the conversation. Really, you're not, right? Your head is somewhere else. You're thinking about something. You're not, once you start thinking, you're out, like you're done. You're not listening anymore. And this is why a lot of people experience a common pitfall in sales where the client says something that's like golden and they miss it. And if you were listening to that call, you're like, it's so obvious. He just said it. But they're not listening because their attention is elsewhere on the next question, on how to rephrase something, or how am I going to answer this, right? Like it's called listening to respond. Okay, that is not what a really great and effective salesman has, right? Or a closer or setter. We're listening to understand. We're listening for what's important for them. We're listening for what matters to them. And we tell that to them so they know that we're listening, okay? So you want to get, number one, you want to master the script in the way that I defined it. And look, it can take you seriously hours, days, weeks, months to do this level of mastery. It doesn't matter. Just start doing it and keep doing it until you have it, okay? It'll happen. Eventually it will. And when you do, okay, because I've reached this level too, okay, it's trippy. The trippy experience. Because all of a sudden in the mirror, right, you're no longer talking to someone in the mirror when you master this, okay? eventually you'll start talking to a person in a mirror, which is you. But as you're talking to them, you're not actually you anymore, right? You're so over there in their world and what you're saying that you'll start hearing it the way you're saying it. It's very trippy. It's like phenomenon. But when you can start being with people, like their emotion is your emotion, right? Their thoughts are your thoughts. When they say something very traumatizing or very depressing, sad, angry, upsetting for them, you'll feel it with them too, because you're with them. You're connected to them. Okay, and that is what will have you be, especially in this business, a very successful closer or setter. Well, look, here's the problem though. You can't create that connection. You can't be with them 100% if your attention is on the script or in your head. Okay, period. So number one, get that down. Okay, and look, this is also called out getting ready before the first mock. Look, you might seriously not mock for a week and just focus on mastering the script. Good for you, because it'll make your first mock that much better for you. Okay. Okay. Number two, right, is look, you just want to go all out, right? When you're mocking the script with someone, okay, you just want to do your thing. You want to read the script, or if you haven't, hopefully by then mastered at some level, like, right, generate it. And you want to listen very carefully to what the client prospect is saying to you. And look, you don't want to hear what they're saying and be like, okay, got it. Or like, okay, that makes sense. I would do that too. I know what that's like. Look, when you say things like that, what that leaves in communication with the other person is that you're not actually listening. You're just like, yeah, I got it. Okay, whatever. Now, if you were listening, use something like this. Like, wow, John, I really get how stressful it is at work right now. You know, you have a boss who you said is really hard on you. He's micromanaging you. You're working with people who don't care about doing well. And here you are, you know, you're the number one closer on your team. You're working your butt off. No one appreciates you. You get paid crap. And that's why you're looking for another job now. Like, oh my God, I get what that's like. That sounds horrible. Yeah, it really is. See, that's how you properly, like, summarize what someone has said to you, right? In a way that they get that you actually heard it. You heard the emotion. You heard the feeling. You got the intention behind what they actually care about and what they share to you. And look, it is actually possible to hear these things that they don't even say, because I could do it. It's possible. But if you're not listening 100%, if you don't have 100% attention, it's never going to happen. I'm sorry, it's not. Okay, and I want every one of you to develop that skill set, but it's only possible if you are paying attention 100%. And your attention is, I mean, look, what I tell people is when I'm in like sales mode and I'm on a call with a client, you really want to get this. Nothing else in the world exists. Nothing. Not my family, not me, nothing. It's just the client. That's it. Like, really. Now, it took me years to develop myself to get to this level of mastery. Okay, it's not easy, but I'm telling you, it's possible. You can develop it too. But you have to get out all the garbage of your head, all the distractions, you know, your cell phone on a call. Put all that crap away. Go into a dark room if you have to. I don't care. Eliminate all distractions and just be with the client. And I promise you, you will start hearing things that you never heard before. Things that you didn't even know existed. Like they're not even paying attention to you right now. You'll hear. And you'll be like, hey, Bob, you sound kind of bored. You okay? Oh, yeah, sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, no problem. Can we continue our conversation? Yeah, go ahead. Okay, good, thanks, great. You'll hear things like that because you're paying attention now. You're listening. You're not just monologuing, right? And owning the conversation like you're the only one that matters, right? That's number two. Okay, number three, the conversation has to be about them, 100%. Remember, only they exist in the conversation, right? When you're paying attention and you love and care about them, period. And that's it. It's all about them, right? It's about them, okay? And you want to be being someone with them that's like loving and interested and curious about what they're dealing with, like what's going on. Because look, any objection they tell you, if you have a connection with them, and they get that you care about them, like authentically, not like phony, but like you really do. And they could tell because you're asking them questions about their life. You're getting to know them, what they're dealing with, and what they're going through. And you're empathizing, you're sympathizing, right? They're going to want to talk to you, and they're going to want to share things with you that they may never share with anybody because they have the experience that you actually give a shit about them. You're not just trying to sell them on something. You care. And look, saying you care doesn't mean squat, okay? Saying anything doesn't mean squat to them. You have to demonstrate it. You have to be it, and they'll recognize it, okay? When I was in sales, like in the Marine Corps, I was in recruiting, okay? And one thing I learned, honestly, I wasn't really a good recruiter. I wasn't, because, I wasn't really into sales back then, and there was a lot of like, whatever back then. But, I had a good time for some of it, but usually I didn't like it that much. But because it was all about getting numbers, right? Getting the numbers and all about the metrics and a lot of pressure, right? And that's not fun. Okay, it's not fun to be in an environment, right, in your life that's like that. And look, some places will be at that. That was my experience with the Marine Corps recruiting. Maybe not everyone has that experience, but it was my experience, right? You may be working somewhere right now where there's a lot of pressure to do well, right? There's a lot of pressure to do a good job. And look, honestly, I don't recommend working those kind of places because they're not going to really empower you, right, or help you. But look, this is what I got. Okay, I could have said blah 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 to a kid, a 17-year-old high school kid, for like an hour. Okay, and then he leaves. Now, it didn't actually matter what came out of my mouth. It really didn't. What mattered is what was left with that kid when he left my office. Was he inspired? Was he happy? Was he confident? Was he excited about this opportunity to join the Marine Corps, right? Like, how was he left? Because that's all that actually matters, seriously, is what's left with the clients when they leave your call. Because look, they could tell you the moon. Yeah, I'm gonna call Chris as a closer. We'll do, but they could be telling you nonsense and bullshit, and you'll believe it. You will. But if you could really get and create that what you say to them is inspiring, like they're excited about talking to the closer if you're a setter, right? And they're excited about the opportunity, and they're looking forward to it. And they're like, wow, I can really see, wow, I can see that house already. Oh my God, the yard for my dog. Wow, this is fantastic, Alex. I'll talk more about this. Yeah, no problem, man. Let me get you on the phone with Chris, okay? He'll give you more information, answer any questions you have, and he'll take great care of you. That sounds great. Let's do it. Like, I tell people, if you're doing this right, as a setter, right, your prospects and clients should be thrilled to talk to the closer. They should be excited, thrilled, motivated, everything. And if they're not, then consider that you didn't do a good enough job at creating this as an opportunity for them that's really going to change their life for the better. Like, really give them what they want. Because you didn't ask the right questions, you weren't listening, whatever, right? That's a different conversation. So you want clients to be inspired, okay? You will know you did a great job as a setter if the client is like excited at the end to talk to the next guy. And you could tell by his voice, you could tell by his face. If he's excited, if he's inspired, if he's looking forward to it, and he expresses this to you in words, then great job, right? Seriously, great job. Okay, and then last thing here that I would say is, look, like, you want to be very coachable. Okay, I'm going to define for you what coachable is, because it's not what you think it is, okay? Coachable in my world means that when I say, hey, John, the sky is red, John will go outside and be like, wow, that's weird. It's blue. Maybe there's something wrong with my eyes right now, because Alex, my coach, said that it's red. Okay, when you're being coachable in my world, okay, you're not just hearing criticism and you're like, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, like, okay, that makes sense. No, I don't agree with that. No, I'm not going to do that. Okay, that's not being coachable. Okay, coachable, whereas in my world, we say being correctable is when I say, hey, knock this shit off, making this conversation about you. You guys get it and be like, oh shit, my bad. I didn't even get I was doing that. Like, what did I say that had you have experience that was all about me? Well, you were talking about your own life the whole time, and you didn't give a crap about mine. Like, you know nothing about me. Like, what's up, man? Or whatever. Right? And just take it. Like, be coachable. Be like, wow, that was your experience? Because look, a call is not about you and your experience of the sales call. Who gives a crap how you think you did? Does that really matter? No. What matters is their experience, the client's experience. Were they happy? Were they satisfied? Did they have the experience that you were extraordinary with them and you listened and you cared, really cared, and were interested in their life and what they wanted? And you're like, hey, that's great. Like, let me show you how we could create that for you here at RCA. Because what you shared is fantastic. I want to help you get there. Let's go. When they get that who you are for them is a contribution, someone who authentically, not faking it, because they could tell that BS. I know I can on some of the mock calls, right? Look, when you're authentically being loving, contributing, empathetic, empowering, it speaks like they'll hear it. You don't have to say you are, they'll know you are. And they'll share their life with you. Things they don't tell anyone. I've had people on mock calls saying I'm better than their therapist. True story. I have testimonials to prove it, right? Like, you could do that for people. You really can. Even if you're a brand new person to sales, you could do that too. But you have to be listening. You have to be paying 100% attention with them. No distractions. You know the script, so you're there with them 100%. You're not thinking about anything else. Your world now is them, period. You will hear things that they don't even say to you. Seriously, you'll hear in the background, what are they committed to? Like, what's important to them by what they're saying. You'll hear it. You'll start hearing their tone differing. You'll know when they're interested with you. They'll know when you're bored. Like, okay, John, yeah, I got that. Like, bored, robotic, you'll hear it because you're paying attention. You'll hear it and you'll get it. And you'll be like, wow, right? And now, like I can, you'll actually begin to start coaching yourself as you're on the mock calls with people. You'll be listening as you're talking, even to yourself. And you're going to be saying, wow, I was really dry right there. Wow, that didn't land at all. They didn't get anything I just said. I got to say it again. Wow, that was inappropriate. Let me take that back, apologize, and re-say it again. You'll start catching yourself even talking and getting, wow, am I doing a good job? Am I being inspiring? You'll be able to hear it eventually down the road. This could take you months or years, but it's possible, right? And look, I said this is like the first mock call. I just give you a lot. I get that. But what I'm really committed to in this call is that you get what a mock call in general could look like, right? What it could sound like to be someone that people want to be around. That when you speak, people listen. They're inspired. They're excited, and they're motivated to take action in whatever you're selling them. Crap, I mean, this applies to your life, right? We're always selling. You're married to your spouse, you're selling them on going to the movies, right? Going out to dinner. We're always selling. Human beings are always selling all the time, okay? We just don't know it. We think it's like, being cute, talking to our hubby, whatever, but it's not, right? You're selling. All the time I'm selling my wife, right? I'm selling at my job. I'm selling whatever. We're always selling something. And if you could be someone who's inspiring, who the conversation is all about the client, not you at all. It's all about them and what they want, right? And then you're selling to their benefits. You're selling to what they want. I promise you, you will start being very, extremely effective at whatever you're doing and setting your sales and closing. And people will desire you. They'll seek you out. They'll refer you to their friends. Why? Because you're a human being to them. You're not a salesman, car salesman, robot, monotone, whatever person trying to close them on something they don't want. Because it's not about you. It's about them and their needs and what they want and what's important to them. And that will communicate when you're being loving with them. You're being understanding with them, empathetic, curious, interested. They'll get it. And you'll be great. Honestly, you'll be fantastic. And it's possible for everyone, including if you're brand new day one today. If you start practicing these things, right? The mirror work for the script. You start, I wouldn't know, maybe start talking to people all the time and summarizing back what they said to them afterwards. So, you could practice, right? How good you are at that. Whatever, right? But remember, it's not just parroting what they say. Don't do that. You want to say what they said in a way that they get you heard what they said. So if they say something that's very frustrating for them and they're very upset about it, then say that. But like, wow, John, I hear you're very upset about this. I'm so sorry. How long have you been dealing with this for? How long have you been putting up with this for? Wow, that long? How much longer do you want to be there for? Right? Those questions, by the way, will naturally arise in conversation when you're being loving and you're being interested and you're being curious about their life and their well-being, right? Because you care about them. And I promise you, everything else will work itself out. And look, last thing, you don't have to memorize questions to be a good salesman, okay? Or be a good closer. You don't. When you're being loving, right? Look, imagine you're talking to your mom, right? Do you need a script to talk to your parents if you love them or your kids? No, right? You always know what to say. Or you don't, right? And you get help with it, whatever. But there's no script. You just talk because you have a commitment that they're loved, that they're empowered if you care about them, right? And that they're taken care of. And if they're dealing with something, you'll be curious and ask questions like, wow, I'm so like, mom, like, what's going on with you? Why aren't you happy right now? You don't have to think about it, right? It just comes off the tongue naturally because you're being loving with them. You're being interested and curious and compassionate, empathetic, okay? All right, so we'll end here. If any of you have any questions, want more videos or mocks, please let me know. Otherwise, send me a message on Facebook and let's mock because that's where the action development happens. All right, y'all take care. Bye-bye.